Yay! Congratulations for being here. Whether you were sent the link or you stumbled on this page, I just want to say congratulations for being here. My name is Vera Alex, and I'm going to be sharing with you in few minutes the reason why I decided to do 21 days of healing from a toxic growing up experience. Right? I'm going to be sharing with you my story. From the age of 5, I was sexually abused by my uncle for 4 years. Right? But guess what? It was not until I was about 19-20 that it dawned on me that I had a toxic growing up experience. It wasn't just a traumatic one. It was toxic. I wrote a book in 2017, Broken But Beautiful, talking about my growing up experience and talking about how I was abused and how it affected me. But it did not dawn on me that something might be traumatic or something might be toxic. It doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be traumatic. It means that you might have to go through an experience that you did not know was toxic. You just did not know, and that's why I am taking my time to explain this growing up experience that you probably have encountered but you do not even know about. So I struggled with low self-esteem. I struggled with getting approval from other people. I struggled with confidence. I struggled with having been called a failure because I failed academically for quite a number of years until I started doing well. So I came from doing so well academically to failing so bad to doing well again, right? So my growing up experience was quite toxic, but I did not know until I started taking therapy and doing healing programs. Now, the question you might probably ask is, where are your parents? What was your parents' response to your being sexually abused? Yeah, they drove my uncle away. It was my uncle that sexually abused me. They drove him away, but guess what? They didn't focus on my health. They didn't know what to do. They didn't know exactly what had happened with me. They didn't know the effect of the sexual abuse that had already happened for 4 years under their nose. Right? They were busy trying to make money, and they did make money, right? I grew up in a very in a wealthy environment, very comfortable. I won't say like 100% wealthy, like billionaire, but I mean like really millionaires, right? Wealthy. We had all of the things that we needed and wanted, and like major things that we needed. We didn't lack, basically, right? My teachers were part of the people that abused me verbally, physically, right? So, I mean, this later affected me in my journey throughout my life. It later affected me, how I saw myself, my identity. It affected my growing up. It affected what I called myself and how people saw me. So, I want to explain to you the different categories of growing up, and that's what the aim of this short video is. So there are different categories of our growing up experiences, and I'm going to use names to identify some of these experiences, and you get to pick the one that is with you by the names I use. We have Femi or Faith. Femi or Faith, they had parents that controlled their whole life. Their parents made all the decisions for them. They ended up making this fostered, it littered into their own adult life. Their parents basically still make their decisions for them, right? They don't have a mind of their own, and they don't have the ability to really think for themselves. We have Tola Otunji. Tola Otunji really love their parents, right? They give excuses for what their parent or guardian did or did not do. They make it their fault that these things that didn't favor them happened. They rationalize situations and bad behaviors even in their own lives. That's why they hardly change. They are filled with denial. They deny things. The result is that they end up with these kinds of people that may constantly hurt them, and they will hope that these people will change for the best in the future. They also make hurtful decisions generally to please people that they love at the expense of their own purpose, their own happiness, and their own joy. We have Chigozie or Chika. These ones had parents and guardians that had a way they like to be seen by the upper class. They had an image to uphold, and so if Chigozie or Chika make a mistake that destroys their image, this image they desperately want to uphold, that mistake might never be forgotten. They will constantly remind Chigozie or Chika about that one mistake they made. The result is that Chigozie or Chika end up in cliques, friendships, or partnerships that they will constantly have to work hard to get their approval, and their children might also wind up having that same experience. And then we have Toby or Tina. Toby or Tina were hurt by the people that were supposed to lead and protect them. It could be their aunt, their uncle, their parent, their teacher or guardian. They had traumatic experiences and they couldn't really share it with other people. And because Toby or Tina couldn't deal directly with the people that hurt them, they transferred the hurt or aggression to other people that loved them. If they were abused in any form, they are likely to replicate it directly or indirectly. Then we have Dotun or Dinu. Dotun or Dinu had parents or guardians that were like gods to them. So they didn't really have father-child, mother-child relationship. They were afraid of their parent or guardian. They believed people in authority are to be feared. They believe that their parents are perfect, and no matter how much harm is done, their parent is right. Dotun or Dinu's parents cannot understand the uniqueness of each child, and they parented all their children the same way. And if any child tried to deviate, they are rebellious. That's what they say. As long as you try to deviate, you're a rebellious child, right? Dotun or Dinu end up becoming powerless and filled with fear. They will start to act tough. Now that they're grown, this is the result. They start to act tough and they will not be able to express themselves emotionally. They are likely to ruin relationships they get into. Then now we have Abraham or Angelina. These ones had irresponsible parents, but they do not even know that their parents were irresponsible. They had no idea. They would not say, oh, my parents are irresponsible, but here's the symptoms. They either pushed responsibilities to them or they made them do all the work all the time. Abraham or Angelina didn't really have the opportunity to play or have fun. Even when they did, it did not last so long as a child's play is supposed to last. It was brief. They say, as they are grown now, they start to say, I'm glad my parents did that for me because now that I'm an adult, I'm better for it. But no, they are not better for it. They are unhappy. They are very unhappy. They are unhappy. They feel like their work never finishes, so there's no playtime. They don't really play. They're really always busy. They're always so busy. They don't have time. Their love life, if they even get into a love relationship, their love life is a bore. Their focus is on their responsibility, and that's all they like to do because they feel like that's what they're best at doing. And so they feel guilty when they're not performing a responsibility to their parents, boss, guardian, children, spouse. They can even be guilt-tripped into getting married because their parents can be like, I don't want my son or daughter to replace their love for me with love for another person. No, I don't want that. So they feel entitled. Their parents feel entitled to their attention and affection. And then we have Kunle or Tina. Kunle or Tina had parents or guardians that were not really available. They were either physically or emotionally unavailable. They thought about themselves more than they thought about Kunle or Tina. Kunle or Tina had to keep themselves and help themselves through almost everything in life. Their parents prioritized everything else above them. Kunle or Tina have a hole in their hearts and they start to look for other people, other things to replace these holes. Especially for parents that were not available because of death and they had that stay with guardians. So these guardians were really not available for them emotionally. And the last but not the least, we have Olumide and Olamide. These ones had physical, spiritual, mental, financial, and psychological needs met. They had their needs met. They were protected from harm. They were seen. Their parents knew how to balance being their parents. Their parents or guardian knew how to balance between being their parent and friend. These ones tend to have a positive outlook of life. They also know when to say no or yes. Their mindsets are very healthy, and they make choices that are healthy and have great relationships. I'm sure we know people like this, or maybe we are even people like this. We know at least one person that whenever they sit to talk, or you just look at their decision making process, I know that these ones are emotionally healthy, or they had great parenting. And so we have lots and lots of other parenting experiences that people have experienced out there. We have parents that were suspicious of everybody. We had parents that were fearful. They had fearful experiences, so they would transfer it to their kids. We have parents that have unfulfilled dreams, and then now they want to fulfill their dreams through their children, for letting their children forgo their own dreams to fulfill their own. Right? Most of these negative attributes come from all of this negative upbringing that we don't really see, but then they're affecting us in our general lives, right? So these adults have little or no self-esteem. Their identity is tied to whatever they are doing well or whatever they are failing at. They are usually afraid to take new steps, even if it will require them to have a desired goal. Their relationships are always failing. Even if they get married, they are not really happy or satisfied. They compare themselves with other people. I mean, looking at all of this, you could even look at your life and say, I have a mixed growing up experience. You can just say, you could even be Tina, you could be Dami all at once. You could be Tina, Dami, Tola, Faith, Tunji, Kunle. You can be like three of them. All of these experiences just define your own experience, right? After going through my own fair share of toxic and traumatic experience, I had learned how to cope with it. I learned how to cope with the trauma. I learned how to cope with the toxic, but it did not make me healed and whole until I took the journey to healing. And the thing people need to start to see is that our souls are like lanterns. They're like glasses. They are the intermediary between our spirit and our body. And so they need to be constantly cleaned. You know when someone wears specs and how you constantly have to clean the specs so that you can see properly? That's exactly how our souls are. And they're constantly being stained every day with insult here, social media here, everybody trying to tell us what is and what is not, right? So it needs to constantly be cleaned every single time. Any day you're not detoxifying, and detoxifying is a journey. Healing is a journey. It's not a destination. It's something we keep doing every single day. And it's important and it's urgent. So for 21 days, I will teach you. You will heal on this journey, but it's not going to be a destination. But you will learn how to constantly lift off the weights you've carried all your life, and you will learn how to never pick them up anymore. Going forward in your journey, you will silence the voices of your past experiences that have held you back, and you will live free to be the individual that you are. Do you know the meaning of individual? Individual is something that cannot be divided. Indivisible is something that cannot be divided. The whole person that you are. You will learn how to be you and nobody else. So once again, I say thank you so much for being here, for listening to me till this time. Thank you for showing up. I celebrate you so much, and I can't wait to meet you. See you in class. Bye.